On 28th January this year, a drone strike took place on US base in Jordan, which is known as Tower 22. It killed 3 US servicemen, wounded over 40 of them, and 8 of them are in serious condition with brain injury, etc. Tower 22 is a US military base. It is a small base. It is in the demilitarized zone between Jordan, Syria, and just about 10 kilometers away from Iraq's border. This was a drone attack on US base, and who has done it? What is the status now? And is this situation going to escalate into a much bigger? We will discuss about all this in today's episode. Namaskar, Sat Shri Akal. I am Commander Sandeep Dhawan. Welcome to Insightful Knowledge. I've been warning against US getting involved in unnecessary wars. If you've seen, they have been involved in all over Asia, especially in Middle East, and now they got involved in a Ukraine war. I had also warned Russia and Ukraine not to fall in the trap of getting into a war through my articles. Now that is gone. However, there is one big player who is exploiting the situation very, very smartly, and that is China. Yes, if you notice, in the whole chaos in the Middle East, in the whole chaos in Ukraine, China has never come as the main representative, main negotiator. They have always played in the background, and they have played very, very dirty. In my recent article, I had explained how by starting this 7th October attack by Hamas on Israel, they have achieved many aims. The first aim they achieved was attention of West and especially US was immediately diverted from Ukraine war. This gave breathing space to Russia. It, if not permanently damaged, at least delay the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor for indefinite time. It also made West to start negotiating and give leeway to Iran, and the cheap oil from Iran started flowing to China. It also derailed a permanent solution between Saudi Arabia and Houthis, who have been fighting a very costly war for some time. Also, it disrupted the Red Sea and Suez Canal traffic, which is the mainstay for Europe. Also, it brought to the fore China, Europe, freight train corridors importance. And if you have noticed, the Chinese media immediately started praising this route and stated that how it is free of terrorism and best for the Europe. So China achieved many aims from that, and latest, if you understand, is that there was a very, very serious negotiation going on, which was between Hamas and Israel to bring this war to an end, get 100 hostages held by Hamas released, and the main players were obviously USA, Qatar, Israel and Hamas and some other regional players. China was nowhere. But if this war had stopped, the players, main players like USA, Europe and other countries would have been free, and they would have again started paying attention to Ukraine war. The idea is to get USA as well as the West get involved in a bigger war in these regions, so that China is free to play its game in the South China Sea and East China Sea. If you have noticed the latest developments, China has already sent a big fleet close to the Japanese Senkaku Islands, which are disputed islands between Japan and China, and Japan presently governs them. Japan has been vocal about it, and it has been making noise that these ships have entered their waters illegally. Another noteworthy development is that China, through its proxy North Korea, is putting pressure on South Korea and Japan with various missile tests and rhetoric from the North Korean supreme leader. So if you notice that China is very smartly outwitting all the major players who could derail their program. And their main program has been decided, declared, that unification of Taiwan is their main aim. Rejuvenation of their nation is connected with reunion with Taiwan. So they are on track. However, what is this happening? What are now USA's options? So USA is heading for election this year, and USA's President Joe Biden is under tremendous pressure to take action against Iran. And in this, if you noticed the last few hours happenings, you will notice that Republicans are really at him to take action, and which will put him in very tight situation. If you have read that the Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, he had tweeted, "Hit Iran now, hit them hard." Similarly, another Senator, John Cornyn, he had tweeted, "Target Tehran." And another Senator, Tom Cotton, says, "Anything less than hitting Iran directly will confirm Joe Biden as a coward unworthy of being commander-in-chief." So these are the pressures USA is going through. These are the pressures the present president is going through. So what are their options? What are USA's options? Let us go over them one by one, because it is not a small thing. Since 7th October, when Israel attack took place, US forces have come 165 times under attack from various militant organizations in the Middle East. So USA cannot keep quiet. USA has attacked 8 times in Syria and Iraq, these militant hideouts. USA has attacked 8 times in Yemen, the Houthi hideouts. So, but it is keeping the level of attacks, the level of escalation to a certain level. But now this latest development puts lot of pressure. So first option is, what people are pressing USA for is, hit Iran directly. However, I would say that would be the biggest mistake USA would make if they hit Iran directly, because that is the exact aim, that is exact what China wants USA to do, West to do, to escalate the situation. Because China would stay on the periphery and enjoy the show, while the USA and the Western forces are getting involved in a bigger mess in Middle East. So many serving and retired members of US military are insisting that there is no other option but hitting Iran directly. In this, a 3-star retired Navy Admiral John Miller, who commanded the US 5th Fleet in Persian Gulf, he says,
"We've allowed ourselves to come to a point where now direct strikes on Iran are what is required to quell this activity. In true Iranian fashion, they're going to push and push until they sense that they've come to a red line. They do that themselves. They do it through their proxies. Well, they crossed the red line. They need to be held accountable for that."
Second option is to strike against Iran's assets or Iran's proxies. So people are giving example of Operation Praying Mantis, which was started by their then President Reagan, and the campaign started when a US guided missile frigate hit a mine in the Persian Gulf and got damaged, and to retaliate this operation was started, and in this operation a lot of damage to the Iranian Navy was done, and they say that the Iran backed down that time. Similarly, in Jan 2020, US drone strike killed Iranian Quds Force commander Qasem Soleimani and mobilization force commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis at Baghdad. After these attacks also, Iran retaliated, but in a subdued way, and which did not really harm USA much. And third option is diplomatic engagement, because when President Joe Biden came to office, he said that he will start renegotiating with Iran. However, he was either very slow, or they were thinking they will take their own time to renegotiate many deals with Iran. And that is the time China took the lead, and they took Iran and Saudi Arabia to negotiation table and did a deal which subsequently USA had to accept. At present also, Iran is saying that they are not behind these attacks. In fact, Iran has been demanding to bring this war in Gaza to a halt, and so that the attacks in Red Sea, etc., they are stopped. The attacks in Red Sea have also given way to various hijacking situations which had dried up after 2018. So these are the three options, three positions USA can take, and it would be very prudent to come to table with Iran and discuss with them rather than going to war with Iran or attacking on their soil, because that could escalate situation all over Middle East. Because whatever said and done, Iran still holds sway over Houthis, Hezbollahs, Hamas, and many other factions who are active in the Middle East zone. But USA has to also understand that the main villain behind the scenes working is not Iran but China. China would achieve this aim if USA and its associates go and attack Iran directly. They should sit down with cool heads and chalk out a strategy to deal with both China and Iran and its proxies in a planned manner. As far as India is concerned, India would take a neutral stance for the time being, because if India has a very good relationship with the USA and the West, India has also improved its relationship with Iran, which had deteriorated in the past due to China's involvement. India also has interest in Red Sea and Arabian Sea to safeguard our assets and our merchant traffic in those regions. Therefore, Indian diplomats as well as Indian leadership also pursue USA not to go for a kill. President Joe Biden would be an intelligent man if he does not fall into this trap, because the national interest should take precedence over self-interest. So that's all I would say in today's this small capsule. Thank you so much for watching. Namaskar, Sat Shri Akal. I am Commander Sandeep Dhawan.